Right guys, again we have some of the new videos coming from the occupied Crimea. Ukraine uses drone boats in combination with FPV drones to hit Russian facilities. First of all, military. For the last couple of months, Russia lost lots of the air defense systems there, mostly radars, but not just radars, also this launching system was hit by FPV and probably there was the big kaboom. Unfortunately, we don't have the other like surveillance drone flying nearby, so all of the data, all of the visual information is coming just from FPV. One more kind of the rare radar, it's called Imbir. Interesting name. And the launching unit of S-300 system once again was hit. So awesome job by Ukrainian FPV drone operators and drone boat operators. And it's already the fourth compilation of those kind of the videos that I watched. So Russia is losing lots of the very sensitive equipment. Hello my friends and welcome, my name is Dennis and this is the latest update from Ukraine. Let's go. Alright guys, this video was shared yesterday. The big Antonov 124 Ruslan aircraft was carrying some of the fighter jets somewhere. And now we have the information plus also confirmation that Ukraine will receive F-16s from the United States of America. Wow! Whether those the same F-16s that were loaded to this airplane, guys, I'm out of clue. However, F-16s which United States will supply to Ukraine will be just scrap metal. They'll be just cannibalized for the spare parts, nothing more. However, if this F-16 is really going to Ukraine on this video, it is kind of strange after all, because usually you do not receive fuselage as the spare part. You know, it is just a piece of metal and composite material, so it's a long-lasting part of the airplane. Probably the most long-lasting. Well, I hope one day United States will support Ukraine with more of the airplanes and even F-35s. And you know what is encouraging? That Ukraine obtains those spare parts from the United States of America to maintain its own airplanes American produced. Because actually there was the risk that Donald Trump could cancel the entire military support for Ukraine, including the spare parts. But now we witness kind of the big change in policy of the White House. I will tell you more. Donald Trump is going to support Ukrainian military by $50 million. Yeah, it's not a lot, but still it's the main first step. Well, here we have it. Trump's administration notifies Congress of proposal to sell Ukraine 50 million or more of defense articles. So sell, it means that Ukraine will probably pay for it, but I'm not really sure. Maybe it's all going as the part of the mineral deal. I just hope it is, because it is really needed for Ukrainian defense, and Ukrainian presidential advisor Podolak already mentioned that the air defense systems will be supplied to Ukraine from USA. He mentioned that it was also included in that mineral deal, which is, I would say, kind of profitable for Ukraine at the current stage. The deal was definitely changed by Ukrainian side. All of the changes I published on my Telegram channel, so I highly recommend you to check it out in the video description just below, because you know there's the big article and it will take me lots of the time to speak about all of the nuances here. But what I may tell you, that the deal is a good one for Ukraine. Our kids, our grandkids will not pay reparations to USA. Alright, after all this huge scandal with Signal Messenger leaks played the very bad game for Mike Waltz. He was replaced or fired, you may call it. Donald Trump already wrote on his Truth Social that he will nominate Mike Waltz to be the next United States ambassador to the United Nations. And for now, Marco Rubio will serve as the National Security Advisor, all together with the State Secretary of the United States. So you see that actually the public opinion, it matters a lot. And I think that it was also the factor for Donald Trump to reconsider the support of Ukraine. Well, still there is the small chance that Donald Trump will continue the same support as Joe Biden's administration, but yeah, there is the chance. About my personal attitude towards Mike, well, it's kind of mixed one. Because, you know, for the last few months it was definitely strange towards Ukraine. For example, he said that Ukraine is somehow arming itself, you know, it means that they want to escalate the war, they don't want peace. Which is kind of strange, because Ukraine has to arm itself against Russian intervention. That's the only reason. So Mike Waltz, before joining the Trump's team, was a little different, let's say, to what he is right now. So I wouldn't say that I'll miss him. But what I like to see is less people out there as Tulsi Gabbard, for example. You know, they have really open pro-Russian rhetorics. Alright guys, after all, I want to say a couple of words about the mineral deal which was signed by United States and Ukraine. Reuters and many other sources say that it could take a decade or more to see revenue from mineral deal, but it will be as they predict. So the question is coming, why does the United States push so hard for this deal right now? Like, there was the gap of 1 month long, then Donald Trump stopped speaking about the mineral deal, but later on he pushed Ukraine even more. Well, maybe Donald Trump wanted to show something, some achievement on his 100 days presidency. You know, he said many of the times that America spent $350 billion to support Ukraine, and now with this deal they have their money back. That is what he says right now. Well, I just hope that this deal will also be used to explain to Americans that it's better to support Ukraine, because after all, you'll have the profit. Yes, in decades, but you'll have it. And before we go to the military map update, guys, I want to share my thanks to the Patreon supporters. Guys, you are just amazing. And also members of the channel, you're amazing as well. You just keep me running, you know. There are big issues sometimes with YouTube monetization, especially with the content I produce. So you really help me a lot. Because of you, I'm filming videos on this channel almost every day. And guys, your support, it matters a lot. And if you guys want to support my channel, please join my Patreon community or membership of the channel. The link for the Patreon page is available right in the video description just below. Stay awesome. And now let's go to review the battlefield. So here is the region of Belgorod of the Russian Federation. This is the Kursk region and partially Sumy. You may see that Russia actually entered Sumy region and they moved ahead. At the same time, Ukraine tries to stop Russian forces, with the losses, but also causing losses for the Russian side. And also Ukraine strikes in Belgorod. This is the new attack performed by Ukrainian sabotage group, and here you can see that Russia is using artillery against the Ukrainian forces. The advancement in this area is very difficult because of the swampy terrain. Also, there are lots of the trees, forest spots. Well, maybe it's the good place for infantry to hide, especially during the springtime. Then there are leaves on the trees, but you know, if you want to advance with heavy armored vehicles, it's not a good spot. You can do it here just by using few of the paved roads which are under Russian surveillance and under the Russian drone control. That's why, guys, unfortunately I do not expect the further movement of the Ukrainian army in this sector. This move of Ukrainian army was done to deflect the attention of the Russian army from this region. Just recently Russians moved to Davydov. They've took this village under their control already, but Ukraine uses some of the aviation bombing. Let's check it out. So Russians entered the local building, but Ukraine used J-dams. A Ukrainian MiG-29 strikes high-precision bomb a place where Russian soldiers are gathering. That's the good move of Ukraine. So Russians took this village back, but it doesn't mean that they are safe out there. And if you wonder about the Sumy region of Ukraine, well, I expect that Russia may start their offensive towards Sumy, I mean more massive offensive, because first of all, they accumulated lots of the forces in the Kursk Oblast, but the terrain here is also very difficult, so I do not expect them to move really far. It basically could be the same with their attack in the Kharkiv region, northern part of it. They were stopped here by Ukrainian army long time ago. And actually this attack was not profitable for the Russian army at all. What they did, they just extended the front lines and they have one more spot for their supplies, so they waste their resources in the northern part of the Kharkiv region. And about the eastern front lines updates, guys, unfortunately there is the movement of the Russian army. It was spotted especially in this area, so Russia moved towards this very important highway from this side, like here, and they also advance from this side towards this lake. So I expect that in the coming days they're gonna cut completely this highway for Ukrainian army military supplies, unfortunately. Well, Ukraine is already not using it here because Russia operates with their drones, and it's just very dangerous to move any sort of the cargo. And Russia also goes in a tourist direction, so it was the day before yesterday, and it is today the advance from Dachne, so they changed their tactics a little. There were some of the Ukrainian strikes here, but Russia decided to strike from Dachne, and also they advanced from the southern side. Where they see less resistance, they go. So unfortunately, Russia may take the ground still in many of the spots with heavy losses, but they do it. We see the attempt of the Russian army of how they want to restart their spring campaign in their favor. Whether it would work for them on a larger scale, for example, to move to Konstantinovka, I don't think so. Also, we have the report from the Belgorod Oblast of Russia that something is really smoking there. For now, I don't have the information of what particularly is burning there, but it is something big. Alright, and we also have the news from the Pokros direction. Somehow Russians managed to get to the settlement itself. They went to the local building. There was the small Russian sabotage group, as it was reported 6 of the soldiers went there, somehow not being spotted by Ukrainian drone surveillance on the way, but they were spotted in this building. And Ukraine, yeah, you see what Ukraine did there. A big kaboom and no Russians. However, it's the close call for Ukraine, because Russia actually might send some of the more sabotage groups because of this local success. Russia continued to lose their air defense systems not just in Crimea but also on Ukrainian front lines. This one was kaboomed somewhere in Zaporizhia Oblast. A Ukrainian surveillance drone spotted the Russian Buk M3 air defense and guided HIMARS strike on it. As you can see, it was really a real air defense system of Russia, because you might see how the rocket fuel is burning. It's kind of interesting, but there are lots of the Colombian citizens who want to join Ukrainian army. So one more company was gathered from Colombians, and volunteers even collected funds for their air tickets to go to Ukraine. It's a great honor to have this massive support from Colombians, and not only. For now, this company already has the necessary equipment and they're on a training. And about Ukrainian volunteers, yesterday there was the attempt to unalive the biggest Ukrainian volunteer, Sternenko, who collects lots of the funds for Ukrainian drones. Well, as you see, he is alive. He was delivered to hospital with some of the wound, which is not really that harsh. The bullet went here into his chest and went out. I think he was wearing some sort of the armor vest. And we already have the CCTV image of this event. So there was a lady standing there and waiting for Sternenko to get to his car. Yeah, you may say it's the fancy car, but it is the government car from what I understood. Because Sternenko has the government guard from AFU, so lady was pew-pew to him unsuccessfully, and Sternenko went to the car, and yeah, she was detained by the guard. It's not the first time that Sternenko has been attacked. In one of those attempts, he even unalived his attacker with the help of the knife, and yeah, that's the life of the volunteer, pro-Ukrainian volunteer, also in Ukraine, because you know, Russian FSB, they have very long hands, and they may catch Ukrainian volunteers, especially Sternenko, because he purchases lots of the drones. Yes, with donations from people, but he's like this huge mediator. He has his YouTube channel for more than 2 million subscribers, and lots of the other media. He shares the awareness about everything what is happening, and yeah, he's pretty much a juicy target for Russia. So yeah, actually volunteers, bloggers, reporters, we all have some certain risk. Yeah, we are not out there on the front lines, but we have to accept that we also could be targets, especially guys like Sternenko, because he helps really a lot. Right, more about the peace deal. The news are coming from J.D. Vance. In his speech, he mentioned that for the next 100 days, the United States will mediate the talk between Russia and Ukraine about the ceasefire. Well, we see that rhetorics of Trump's team changed a little. From "we're gonna abandon negotiations" to "we're gonna negotiate, continue those." But you know, J.D. Vance is not a person to trust out there. It's better to listen to Donald Trump at first, and even he might change his opinion several times per day. So yeah, anyways, we'll see. Alright, Ukraine is testing their own prototype of the Shahid drones, and you may see, yeah, the landing is not important in those drones, but nevertheless they fly and the result is good. There are some multiple of the videos, including one with a drone camera filmed on FPV drone, probably. The drone, yeah, it looks exactly like Shahid. Maybe the only difference are those tiny little stabilizers. And there is one more evidence that Putin is not listening to Donald Trump. Then Donald Trump screams stop. No, Putin continues the strikes on Ukrainian civilian infrastructure. There was the multi-story civilian building which was hit today by multiple of the drones. Russia launched more than 50 of the drones on Zaporizhia. I cannot show you the full image, but it's the total devastation, and obviously there are some of the casualties, unfortunately. The only way to deal with Putin is to stop him physically in Ukraine, and to do it, Ukraine needs military support. There is no other way. And I hope that one day Donald Trump will understand that. Well guys, it's all for today. Don't forget to press your huge like to this video. Also subscribe for the channel because it helps a lot. And I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and Have a great time.